Welcome to everyone for this wonderful session. I will be handling today hybrid electric vehicle. So it belongs to Automobile Engineering Department. The course code is 20AU712. This is coming in the module 1. So I am Dr. R. Venkatachalam, Professor, KSR College of Engineering, Tiruchengodu. Once again I welcome you all for this wonderful session. Okay, let us move to the topic, the hybrid electric vehicle. So the content of this session is introduction about hybrid electric vehicle, then what is hybrid electric vehicle, hybrid structure, then components of hybrid electric vehicle, advantages of hybrid electric vehicles, then concluding why we prefer HEV. So when we look the introduction, the hybrid electric vehicles, it is combination of two sources of power. One is IC engine, another one is electrical motor. The hybrid is required to minimize the environmental effect as well as the increased power output or power delivery, and also increased efficiency. When combining electric motor as well as IC engine, the efficiency will be improved. So this is the driving force to choose hybrid electric vehicle. So hybrid concept are increasingly nowadays the vehicles kind of vehicles is launched in India is more day by day it is increasing. So this is what an important topic we are witnessing today. So the hybrid structure, that the configuration has three types. One is parallel hybrids, then series hybrids, and power split, that is parallel series combined hybrid system. So this is the three types which is in practice, and it is implemented in so many car manufacturers. So we will talk about parallel hybrid. The fuel tank which supplies gasoline to the engine, then the engine will perform its task to, it will be connected in a single shaft to a transmission, then the transmission is transferred to a final drive. Parallelly, an electric motor is connected to the same transmission system. The motor will receive power from battery. That battery will be controlled by an inverter. That inverter will invert the power and supply to the motor. Both motor and engine will power the wheels of the vehicle. You can see the figure in the bottom so that it is very much understandable. So this concept is used to propel the vehicle by using two power sources. One is IC engine, another one is motor. So this will enhance the increased power for a vehicle drive. So when the engine is off, the motor will drive, electric motor will drive. If the electric motor is off, the engine will drive. Similarly, it can provide power to the system. So this is how you can witness this figure. So under acceleration, more power is required to the wheels. So it will combine or it parallelly power the system to the wheels. So electric motor will give power as well as IC engine will give the power to the wheels. So both will give more power. So quick propulsion and very powerful propulsion is possible through this parallel configuration. So these are the advantages and functioning of parallel configurations. Now we will move to series hybrid. If you look at this figure, the IC engine is not directly connected with the drive. It is connected to a generator. That generator is connected to an inverter. That inverter will convert the power DC to store the power in the battery, and also it receives the DC current from the battery and supplies to the motor. That motor will be used to drive the final wheel. So this is how the sources are not directly connected to the wheel. It is connected to the motor. Here the engine is not directly connected to the wheel. It is used to only run the generator. So first engine, then generator, then battery, then motor, then drive to the wheel. This is how it is arranged. So this is A combination of electric power produced from the engine and also it is produced from the regeneration that will be used to store in the battery. That battery will source the power to the motor. So this is how the series is functioning. Here the engine will not be overloaded, it will be running in the optimized speed so that it can give more energy. So the advantage is continuously it powers the generator. The generator will produce the electricity. That electricity will be transferred to motor and excess energy will be stored in the battery. If the battery is excess, the energy will be drawn from the battery. That battery power will be used to drive the motor. That motor will be connected in the final drive. This is how it will function. So it can continuously function. So engine is not directly connected to the wheel. The load of the engine will be maintained uniformly or sometimes it runs heavy. So based on the requirement from the wheel power, so engine will be operated. This is how it will function. So it has certain advantages and disadvantages. The advantages is increased economy. Since it is not directly powering the wheel, it is used to optimize the speed so that the power delivered to the generator and the generator will run uniformly. That the power will be used for the requirement as per the motor from the wheel and also the excess energy will be stored in the battery. So this is how it will function. Now we will move on to the third option, that is power split or series parallel hybrids. So it can run in three modes. It can operate as we seen in the earlier topic, that is parallel config, then series configuration, then combined series and parallel. So if you look at this picture, the engine is connected through a planetary gear system to a generator as well as driving the vehicle, that is end drive or final drive you can say. So the engine can directly run the final drive or it can source the energy to generator. The generator in turn will produce the power that will be stored in the battery and also it is used to run the motor. The motor also connected to a final drive. So three situations can be operated here. The first one is engine can directly run the power with the motor. So it is a parallel configuration. The second one, the engine power is fully used to generator to produce electricity. So that will be stored in the battery. Parallelly the motor will be run. So it can run as a series one. Now the combination one, engine also turns the wheel, motor also turns the wheel. The excess power will be given to the generator. The generator also stores the energy for the battery. So the battery will be storing the energy. Whenever it is required from the motor, the power will be generated or supplied to the motor. So three ways it can operate. So regeneration will also be possible here. That regeneration during the braking, that will be used to store the battery or to increase the storage of the battery. So that can be done through this regenerative braking system. So now we will see what are all the components of hybrid electric vehicle. The first one is electric drive motor, which is used to give the propulsion power to the wheels and also converts electrical energy into mechanical energy for hybrid vehicle. Then DC motors and alternative AC motors also used here. So two possible configuration of electric drive motors in hybrid vehicle, as we discussed, parallel and series can be operated by the electric drive motors. Then IC engine, that is auxiliary power units. The IC engine also mechanically driven, that is the fuel is converted into mechanical energy. or you can prefer a fuel cell also can be used for this auxiliary power unit. So SI engines, then CI engines, that is spark ignition engine, compression ignition engines, and fuel cells can be used as auxiliary power units. For generator, usually generator functions as a converter of mechanical power into an electrical power. Then it is when it is used as a series hybrid, because the mechanical power driven from the IC engine that is fed to the generator, that generator produces electric power that is used to run the motor, as well as excess energy will be stored in the battery, then that will also power the motor to drive the vehicle. Then energy storage system is very much important in the hybrid system, that is battery pack. The battery pack is very much important to store the excess energy. Whenever it is required more power, that energy will be released to the motor from the battery. So 3 ways it can work. So regenerative braking, as we discussed in the earlier topics, so conversion of electrical energy and stored in the battery during the braking. Whenever we need to decelerate the vehicle, when we apply brake or we need to decelerate the vehicle, the braking mechanism will, that DC motor will act as a generator. It will reverses its function in order to produce power, in order to use power or convert the electrical energy to mechanical energy. This will reverse the function, that is the motor will become generator. That generator will run the source as the power obtained from the wheel will be converted into electrical energy that will be stored in the battery. So one of the important part is control systems, the electronic circuit, and it is properly programmed to maintain the components through command. So that command will manage the total process as per the driver's instructions. So driver may seek for high speed or cruising speed or low speed or sudden braking or sudden propulsion. So different operating conditions will be met by the control system. That control system will give the instruction to according the components, that components will perform their task, so that the smooth conduction of or smooth driving of vehicle will be ensured. So this is the architecture of a hybrid system in a vehicle. The blue line says the overall chassis. Then the nickel metal hydride battery pack, that is fed to the control unit. That control unit will convert the power and it will supply to the motor. That motor will power the wheels. Parallelly, there is an IC engine. That IC engine have power split devices that is connected to the wheel, and that will be excess power will be generated fed to the generator. That generator will produce the electricity. That electricity is given to the control unit that will also use the power to drive the electric vehicle. So this is how this hybrid is functioning. Now we will see the advantages of hybrid electric vehicle. The less fuel is consumed because electric motor is powered, so that less energy is used. Then when IC engine is used in a optimized speed, the carbon dioxide emission will be less, so emit less. Fuel efficiency, when regenerative braking system is used, the fuel efficiency is increased. So less overall mass, because the fuel tank size will be reduced, the battery pack size will be little bit increased, and the IC engine size is minimized to give the power. So overall mass will be less. Then we have the very good advantage of regenerative braking. Then battery level efficiency also improves because the power will be maintained uniformly in the battery. So final conclusion, after looking the hybrid electric vehicle architecture and its function and the mode of operations, one can conclude that the hybrid is preferred for better efficiency and also it saves fuel, and also it supports the environmental by minimizing the carbon dioxide, that is tailpipe emission will be less, so that the pollution of environment will be less. So recent development research says that the hybrid vehicle promises a practical, efficient, low pollution vehicle for the coming era. So there is a range panic in electric vehicle, and also fuel depletion is a alarming one. So in order to compensate both, the hybrid will be better choice for all the driving lovers. So this is how we can conclude. So thanks for watching this. Thank you all once again. Thank you.